think we still have some investigation to finish off. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this and bring the real culprit to justice. He can't be dead. He can't be dead. That man has been standing here the entire time. Oh my gosh. Anyway, we did the floor, we did the ink, we did the trunk. Oh wait, did we do the ink? Oh, I can't do the ink. The message has been cleared. What's this? What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. Is it a bell?
The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit.
I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he?
And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue.
Yes, you're right. Is it the color of... It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. So was something dragged out of the room? What could it have been? The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way. Did the ship move? No.
And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well.
Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked, and everything mowed down all at once.
I wonder if... Perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think?
I seriously doubt it.
Then perhaps... It was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage.
I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Well,
I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess.
Should you be touching it? Eh? Why is there a gap? Why'd you leave a gap there? Man, this fucking analog stick moves too fast. Warning. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. Buria? It's
essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. It's a good thing we have a sword in here. What? Why are you staring at me?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide.
Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Why did I have to be one or the other?
When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open. This bolt had been firmly closed.
It's quite a small bolt, and not particularly sturdy. And it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this.
Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid.
When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. It's a cute little book. Segi. Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma.
Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully?
Of course I can! I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to?
even though you stowed away on this ship?
Well, now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. Oh, it's fine.
There's nothing on this table at all. The plates and cutlery were all over the floor for some reason.
Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute.
What is it?
That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all.
So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama.
No. You idiots. So did the ship rock or something? That would explain why this fell over and why things from the table fell over and this stuff fell over. I don't even know what this is. A book stand? What is this? Book stand and a sword.
That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it.
Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul.
I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip.
I suppose that just shows how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. I feel like if he were truly dead, our reactions would be much more severe, right? We haven't even cried at what? Oops, wrong button. Is there anything else I can investigate here? Oh, that's my dinner from last night. A roast chicken. It was really tasty.
Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here?
I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate it at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor.
But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he?
No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Haha!
Oh no! Does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible.
Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Oh god, there's another man in here. Oh, it's the fucking inspector. Inspector? No. What was his name? I forgot his position. Oh, look over there.
The crewman, do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he?
That's what I thought.
Why don't we try talking to him?
Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again. But I suppose I could try. That's definitely fucking Hosonaga, isn't it? Is that?
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir?
Yes, what can I do for you? Bakayaro. He even has his hand up like this. I recognize that face, but it can't be. There he goes, coughing. It is!
I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga!
Oh god, now you're using your sleeve to clean it. Oh god. Yellow again. What are you doing here? He was also a stowaway. I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you. My heart stopped.
Nearly stopped. I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board the ship. Again?
You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Man, there's a lot of talking here. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector?
Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. Of what? For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. Oh. Well, that didn't work out, did it? It was Minister of Justice Jikoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go on ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated.
Why would he have been assassinated? By who? Assassinated? How? How could that even been a possibility?
I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There were tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jikoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities.
This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
I see.
You could have just come on board as his, like, assistant or, like, fucking guardian or something? I guess he is. I guess he's 20-something. I guess you wouldn't need a guardian. And I didn't take my eyes off of him the entire time we've been on board. From morning until night. Every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on a first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. Take off my handcuffs, please. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer?
Of course not! We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door.
Yes.
Well, yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin.
I'm sorry.
What?
You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two.
Erwin Smith, you can't keep me in here!
I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. But can't I just prove to him that I didn't? Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive.
What do you mean?
If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to.
But I don't see how...
The diary, maybe?
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence?
It's just the same as when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use.
So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes. I think I might know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain. Got it. Got it. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary.
Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary.
Strange? In what way?
He wrote what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he really meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector.
That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right. So if we can investigate in there, we may be able to work out what the speckled band was. Was it a tiara? Maybe it was a tiara. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, whoops, sorry. I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do.
Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last.
Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Thank you, Hosonaga. I didn't expect you to be a reoccurring character, but it's good. Kazuma-sama's quarters. ... First and foremost, we must get out of this cabin. Why is it? Oh, she's just saying it to us? Okay. Cabin of the SS Buria and the scene of the crime. Kazuma was occupying this cabin for the voyage to Britain along with me as a stowaway. The passage second next to first class cabins of the SS Buria. Is that a mousetrap on the floor? Oh, it's very early in the morning, huh? Phew, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. This is the most luxurious accommodation.
Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent out on the study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in the first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodations in steerage.
Really? Oh, that must be awful. Yeah, why the girls got— Whoa, man! Oh, look over there. There's another crewman keeping watch. He looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. I don't know, he's sus.
The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodations. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't.
I suppose. Like people in handcuffs.
Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already.
I haven't been out here. Well, yes, I know. But the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe.
It must have been a very trying time for you.
Please, don't give me that pitying look. Let's examine the place. Can I go over to the... How do I go? Oh yeah, D-pad. So why is this a mousetrap?
Ah, a trap for catching mice.
Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Really? Like that specific thing? Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Is that not cheese?
Let me see. Yes, I think that's what it's called, cheese. It's made from the milk of cows.
Oh, does Japan not have cheese at this point? Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like.
You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers.
Really? But... I suppose you're right.
You weren't actually going to try it, were you?
All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Kazuma, you couldn't get extra food for us?
Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later.
Oh, thank you, Susato. I'm actually very hungry myself. I haven't eaten yet. It's almost 12. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it?
That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it.
Oh, an alarm.
It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it set alarms bell ringing all over the ship, and brings the vessel to a complete stop.
What? Really? That little thing can just stop the ship entirely? Oh, this I have to see.
What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it!
But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs.
You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in even a worse situation.
Look at her sus. I mean, not sus, her sass. I wish everything would just stop, the ship included.
If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else.
That's a door. I don't want to go there yet, I think. Let's look at this. This looks like a plan of the SS Buria. It shows each deck. Look.
The Buria is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skin hull. What a marvel of engineering.
Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean?
Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san.
It is?
Well, consider the Japanese archipelago.
The islands of Japan?
Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods create them.
Well, I suppose so. That's not an explanation as to why they float, though. What is the actual science behind it? I think I've thought about it, but I've never looked into it. I'm sure it has something to do with the balance of whatever and the buoyancy of shit. What's this? That's a huge book on top of the table there. And there's a pen next to it.
Yes, that looks like the ship's log.
Shall we have a little look through it?
The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded.
You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. Are we talking about him right next to it? And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment.
I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank.
Presumably that means there was nothing to report. I think something happened last night. That's probably why she's like dot-dot-dotting. Oopsie! Oh, I clicked on him, okay. Rigmar. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer. What was his voice? You little stowaway murderer. I don't know his voice, I forgot. That wasn't a good start, was it?
Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you?
You little dark class lady's mate.
Oh.
You seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Susato-san. I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am senior crewman Biff Stroganoff. Oh, beef stroganoff? I get it. Phew, the best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. He looks like a nice man. But I'm also suspicious of him. Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area? Here we are in finest part of Boreas steamship. For very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret. Many important persons. That is why I am always guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean. But Stroganoff is not animal. Thank you. I just realized this little tie thing, it looks like a fish.
If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied?
Duh. I assume that's duh. I don't know if that's duh. That could be no for all I know. Sato-san, did you understand that?
It sounded like duh. I think it's probably Russian for yes or no.
Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, sounds like there's somebody in the next door cabin at least.
Yes, it's tantalizing.
Oh. Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is very important Western gentleman. He's a spy! A Western gentleman. Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with the murder of student board. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly students from insignificant Far East Islands. Y'all racist! That was harsh.
Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard?
That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there was anyone there.
Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right?
That is not your business. That is not your business. How do you... What's Russian? Что? Babushka. Нет. I don't know. Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Da. All the time. So criminals like you can't come in. Or get out.
I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all?
It is sad about student board. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And did you not notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? What? Hit? What? Hit? What? Sato-san? Did you understand that?
It was clearly a... No!
I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises? Or sense something was wrong in some way? He looked away. I said no! Sorry! He's clearly hiding something from us. I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. He's hiding something from us. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes. Alright. Bulkhead to second class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of mountain. Or, as English say, when the pigs fly. Yes, I understand. Don't be mean.
Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we?
Definitely. There's not much more to examine out here, right? I already looked at everything. What? I can look at the book again? That book on top of the table there really is huge. There's a pen with it too.
Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's log.
Shall we have a little look through it? What? I already looked at this though. Is there something different? The writing is so neat and precise, every detail about the blah 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 blah. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting.
Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank, but presumably that means there was nothing to report. Oh, it's only new because it doesn't mention the sailor? I really needed that? That's the way to the second class area of the ship. Is something wrong?
I was thinking about making a run for it. Just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me.
I might be wrong, but I imagined the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there.
No, I started with my talk of running away. And there's no way I can run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway. Yeah, there's no point of running away because you didn't do it. It'll only make you suspicious if you did run away. Nothing new, right? Okay, now let's go. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to.
Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in the cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Ojamashimasu. Didn't Herlock Sholmes come in here?
No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries.
How annoying. What? Where's... What? What was that? It came from inside the cabin.
Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman.
Stand aside. Oh my fucking... What? I'm about to break the door down.
Mr. Sholmes!
I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Ow, that would hurt. This is a metal door.
Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted.
Oh, thank God. It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick? I I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Kick the mousetrap. Get your foot caught. Was it that Pavlova lady? I forget what her name was. Oh my god, what the fuck? A Western gentleman. This man looks Russian to me. Isn't this the guy from the newspaper? We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. He's the woman. Is he not the woman? He's the woman. He has to be the woman. True. This old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong side. Oh, there's the vent. Okay. Get down, all of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe? Yes, that's me. And you are? I'm the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I am a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. God, he looks so fucking suspicious when he's like this. That man uses that magazine like a business card. What detective? I do not trust detectives. Why is he carrying scissors? We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? She's in there. What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. Did that move?
Oh my! Did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes! The case just shook. Oh, is there like a pet in there? Leave! Now! Otherwise, I'll call the steward! So this is Cosmo's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something.
I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns.
Oh, so we're not leaving? Okay, we're just saying it. What the fuck? What is he doing? Why are you sitting there? Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course.
Resting?
Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection into service.
Oh!
And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. And am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on, for once. Oh, really? I didn't even look at anything. So, it's not... Oh shit, ow, my back. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Give him vodka? Why? The truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it?
Oh yes, please.
Well then, what are you about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? Wait a minute. That newspaper. Okay, it almost looked like him, but it's not him. So I'm pretty sure that this person is just her disguised, pretending to almost look like him. What? From time to time, it occurs to me Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone.
That's right. And Mrs. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment.
Shh! I must have complete silence!
You scared him.
What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you were about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not?
Oh, Naruhodo-san! I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' greatest deductions with my own eyes.
That was a great deduction?
Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person.
What? What ineffable twaddle? Whatever that means.
Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deductions firsthand. This is like a dream come true.
I can hardly believe it, but how the color has drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How? How could you? How could I possibly know such things? You wish to say. Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board a train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. Huh? What's happening? Old man's identity. What's happening? What? So, the doobie is looking Russian, Mr. Roylott. Obviously, what catches the eye in the first place? Is this like meant to be like a witness testimony type of thing, but is the enormous pair of shears in your hand? Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. The question then begs is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. What's happening? Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper. In particular, the fascinating front page article. Bakayaro, he's not, which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. See, it's like question marks. It's not true. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. For fuck's sakes, having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, villain Bolshevik. Isn't that what you accused me of earlier? Now that I've heard of you myself, you understand. A revolutionary on the run. wrongdoing. I love that the person is just putting up with us. Now, as for my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there. Oh yes, Miss Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ah! And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently, and honestly, than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. So that's not what we need to be looking at, because he did a question mark. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps. One slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd! And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil whatever betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of the newspaper. For there is another, most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. This is so extra. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovik Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Why is he such a dork? Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma, Elementsky. What was the point of all that? So I noticed that all of his books are toppled over to the opposite side of how Cosmo's was toppled over. Susato-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it?
Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow.
Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here a moment? That duffel bag is huge. What's in there? Pray, what can I do for you? Mr. Person in there, it's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, there's a newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah yes, I recall our discussions earlier, and at that time I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance.
In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look a lot more like this man than you do.
That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina? Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it's too small, clearly! You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child into that case, even if you pushed really hard.
I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she?
You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I?
Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out of the case.
Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain lutheranism in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of the small case.
Oh dear, You might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes.
Ugh, this whole thing is turning into a circus.
Mr. Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic seems a little off.
Do we need to fucking work together? Your idea of a little, maybe a little off itself, Mr. Susato.
It's just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think?
Switch some key words in his deductions.
Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions.
Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. Yeah, Ryunosuke is right. And you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrist. My wrist? Where are my handcuffs? How did? I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deductions. You can't just unlock the handcuffs that you didn't put on. I don't believe it.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel.
He knows magic. He did it. I don't think he did it, but... And don't worry. I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. Oh, okay. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. What are you on about? God dang. Alright, we have to correct him. Can't we just... Why does he even exist then? Because he's partially right? So what do I have to do here? So, the dubious looking Russian, Mr. Royal, obviously what catches the eye in the first place. So what do I have to do? How do I correct this stuff? Is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. That doesn't need to be corrected. I think that's fine. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. See, that's where you're wrong. Oh, okay, so it knows it.
I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard?
I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. Doesn't quite sit right with me, though.
It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either.
Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong.
Let's try to switch a keyword here, Naruhodo-san, and see if it helps matters.
Alright, but how?
I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott.
I wonder if it's really his beard that he tends to use the shears on.
Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deductions better.
Then what?
Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san.
Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for? I actually don't know. Can I move? Oh, I can move. Wee! Oh my what the hell is this? Is that her hair? I like how we never saw this. Wee! You spin me right around. It's a whole new level of spinning. Yeah! Anyway. What the? What's this?
It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks.
No. The color is not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? And how is it growing out from underneath his thick black hair?
Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising.
Something's definitely not right here. Oh, I have to exit. You're stupid. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Fucking smirk on him. Are you kidding me? Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. I'm gonna make it seem like I'm giving him more credit than he deserves. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all. You're a woman. And judging from the length and sheen of your hair. one still very much in her youth. Oh no. If only I had managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. You've been in here for 2 weeks, hold on. How didn't you cut it before? The question then begs this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. And why would you not have your hair tucked inside your coat? You were asking to be found. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea that old man was really a young woman in disguise. Did you? No, I knew. What? Why are you staring at me like that?
Yes, it was a surprise. Naruhodo-san, you're enjoying this, aren't you?
Sorry?
You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room, deducing the facts with Mr. Sholmes.
I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. Oh, this is strictly business, not strictly
Yes, I understand. Say no more.
Well, anyway, let's focus on this next part of Mr. Sholmes' seduction, shall we? The evidence that he picks out doesn't fit the facts at all now.
No, that's true, given that Mr. Royal is actually a woman.
Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary.
I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now.
Yes.
Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them.
For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best. The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right. That's right. You've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich? I don't know. Ballet disappeared from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novovich Ballet's prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Well, at least... Oh my god, ow! At least he's enjoying himself, Ryunosuke. That could have been dangerous, my dude. Oh my girl. Take this off, yes, thank you. Wow, what an earring. Oh, she's gonna keep the hat on?
You're right. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone.
Look how cute she is. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Ah yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. Okay, this woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well.
No, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all.
In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? Ha! I guess I'm gonna have to step in to fix the great detective's mistake again.
You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes?
Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman's up to. The proof of your crime says... What does she glance at? As evidence of her crime. I thought it was the case, maybe it's not? Oh! Ah! Why is it just out in the open, you buffoon? Wow, look at this dazzling tiara.
I've never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds, do you think? Oh, Naruhodo-san, try it on.
What? Me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on?
Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful.
Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Whatever. I forget I had to press Y. I mean X. X. But that case was shaking. What's in there? The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. Yoshi, a thief. I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovik Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in the newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles, whatever. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft.
Oh no.
Yes, you left your ballet troupe, unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. I'm so hungry.
I have no one, no family, no friends. I am all alone, and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an earl of Prussia. It belongs to me.
This girl is only 15 years old. She's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely.
All right, I will tell you everything. There is no point in hiding it now.
Come, let us not be hasty.
What?
There remains one unsolved mystery about you.
Mystery? What do you mean?
You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed. It's a pet in there, obviously. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there is no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I've ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil, whatever, betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case. Written in the books of the show. What? He's completely changed tact with his deductions now.
I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you?
Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? It's just a wild guess, surely.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her.
Yes, that's true. But still, Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself.
Then there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And it must be somewhere in the same area, if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn.
I agree. That's the only answer.
It's in my eye. Sorry. Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. Books on shelf. Why won't she open the case? Oh, is it this? There's a pet in there, right? Oh wait, I should have.
These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
There was exactly the same notice in our cabin too. I wonder what happens if you break the rules.
Oh dear, I'm sure the punishment would be severe, Naruhodo-san. You'd probably be left to drift in the freezing cold ocean. Or shut inside a tiny wardrobe for days on end.
So I've actually been serving time for weeks now, have I? So I think it's this, because... Okay, yeah. Nice. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case, written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapons or other dangerous items would move on its own accord. Unless it's a mousetrap that keeps getting fucking activated. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case. Is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage. A pet. He's having fun. Good for him. Your best friend is dead, but you know. Ah! She screamed. So is it a snake in there? Is this a snake that the speckled band that Kazuma saw? Elementary. You know what? That's fun. That's a fun addition to the game. So clearly, you aren't who you said you were.
No, I am not Grimsby Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct.
You absconded during one of our ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. The Birdie has a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could you really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. You had 2 weeks to do that, my dude. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you, about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me.
I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself? So no one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man? I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then, just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper. Right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they would find me.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
So I decided to cut off my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and...
Scissors are so fucking large. At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Why didn't you lock the door?
Things happen like that sometimes, don't they?
Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing?
There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? You were right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world.
I want to see your friend.
Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say it to any of the crew.
Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But to return, you must tell us, in as much detail as you can muster, about the events of last night. I want to see the pet. Let him out. He's not going to be able to breathe in there, dude.
Yes, all right. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something? Mr. Sholmes' great deduction?
It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. Stop butting into our cover. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes? What? Observe your wrists. Are they back on again? My
cuffed again.
What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. Grr. When and why?
There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say. It can't be helped at the moment.
Can't it? Really?
Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was.
I'm so hungry. But I want to know. Let's talk. Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died, he was a friend of mine.
Oh,
That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night?
perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example. Or perhaps people talking.
Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened.
Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me.
Oh, I see. You've run away from your ballet company, have you? Haven't you? Novovic Ballet?
Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life.
You wish to forget. A challenging proposition. When you have that striking tiara as a reminder.
But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money on my own. That Novovic Ballet gave us only a little food and water, and we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes, and the crew of this ship, they have all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin.
If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates a most intriguing conundrum.
Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... What conundrum? What are they talking about? Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Bird stopped by no port last night. Ah, that's it. Of course. Yeah, so how did she get on here then? So how is it, pray, that you come to be on board?
Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard.
Oh, right. That is none of your business. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something.
An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage.
Sorry? What was that?
It is how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel. The
Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid.
Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist the touch of a dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same.
A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Sholmes, in fact. Whatever. Yes, Mr. Shoei. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. But, what? So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case. Is that right?
I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell any of the crew. If they found my precious...
Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison and throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes.
But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? Is it? Isn't it?
It's a snake, probably. Maybe an adorable little rabbit? Ha! You credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there then? You may well ask. I have no idea. Why did you fucking... You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. It isn't obvious. It must be a chicken. It's a funny thing out of context.
Really?
Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs. And when adversity strikes, it can satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you eat your friends? I'll remember that. Of course it's not a fucking chicken. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. Ah ha 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 ha. That's not funny. What? Why does he laugh at such weird... She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it? What? What do you want me to show her? Oops. Where's that? Okay. Wait, maybe show this? The speckled band thing? Can you tell me anything about this? This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary. Yes, and he wrote it in last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? I don't understand.
It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentioned joins to this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's
in other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh! Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean anything to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? No, I don't know anything.
Oh.
She's not gonna tell us.
Oh. Excuse me, Mr. Warlock. Yes, what?
Wow, she's fast.
Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarter at once. Please. Alright, I will come now. They both have the same voice, whatever. What? You must leave. Now. Oh no, it's fine. Don't mind us.
Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott.
Get out! The passengers is out, or you want me to throw you out. Ugh, it looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later.
What a pity. Aww.
And so we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. To be continued. Seems like a good time to stop then. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. What happened to our boyfriend? He can't be dead. I'm bummed out. Alright. Well, that was a good session. I'm so tired and I'm so fucking hungry. I really don't know why I chose to do this in early. Well, I wanted to play it. Like, you know, what can you do? When you want to play a game, you want to play a game. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. You'll be seeing me again probably very soon, maybe. Well, at the very least, I'm gonna play this very soon, hopefully. Problem with this is that I can't play this forever because I do the voicing and I put myself in that position, so I can't do it. Well, I did pretty well the first time we played it. I played for like 5 hours. I wasn't too tired then, so what the difference is, I don't know. But looking forward to see what the speckled band is and what the fuck happened to my goddamn boyfriend. Bring Kazuma back! Alright, bye!